Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber.
Hello.
And this is States of Atlanta.
Thank you, show guest.
Do we have an extra crack open there?
We might have.
You guys could hear it? Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. I worry that you can't even hear mine really, unless because like the mic is it's a good mic. So
Yeah, you see, I get like as close as I can without like just splooging all over it. Yeah.
Tim, that's something else. That's something else you did. Yeah.
Well, welcome back, guys. Ryan, hope you had a good Father's Day.
I did. How about you?
Yeah. I did spend it with my kids, so yeah, I call that a success, right?
I went to Athens and had lunch with my grandpa. So
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I called my dad. I scouted out some.
Did a bar crawl too, right?
I scouted out some bars for Georgia State watch parties. That's what we're gonna go with. That's what I did. May have ended up at a place with some people with daddy issues as well later on in the evening. So
could also be a watch party location.
It could be a watch party location. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. All right. What the hell are we going to talk about? I've been off work all week. I've been doing like house chores. I have not sat down at a computer until today, so I have not been in tune with what's going on in Georgia State. You guys have any ideas? What's going on? What's the news? What's the latest?
I mean, one thing that's been going on, baseball players leaving left and right, signing with big-time schools, Arkansas, Georgia. 2 players went to Georgia, a player went to Georgia Tech. I think we got a player from Georgia Tech. I don't know. Is baseball just like a big swap up now?
Yeah, so in trying to get ready for tonight, I was reading a little bit about this, and I guess baseball's a lot different than what we're used to with football and basketball with the scholarships. There's not like full scholarships. There's a lot of these guys are on like half or quarter scholarships or something like that. So a lot of these players, I guess a couple of the guys that left us to go to Georgia may just end up going into the MLB draft and never actually playing for those dirty, rotten dogs. So
it seems like a weird flex to go to a different school and then not play.
You know, if you're, I mean, Tim, I know, Ryan, you don't get on Panther Talk much anymore, but Tim, I know you still do. But there's one guy on there, a hardball fan, that pretty much is really in tune with
his shit.
With not just Georgia State baseball, but like college baseball as a whole. And he was talking about how like some of these guys are leaving not because where they're going, they're not going to be on scholarship, but the NIL money will pay for their college tuition. And that's why they're leaving. Not necessarily, making money, but just being able to get their tuition paid for, which is not getting paid for if they stick around here. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, baseball is sort of weird in that MLB does not have any kind of requirements around going to college. So the very best players don't go to college at all. They just go straight to MLB.
Yeah. You hear about it all the time with guys that have like these or other way around, actually get drafted, but they still end up going into baseball, which is weird because like college basketball, you enter the draft like, all right, well, you're done with college sports, not in baseball. You were actually literally drafted. No, I'm still just going to play here. I want to play at this school.
Well, it's not that hard of a sport, so it's not like there's a lot of danger of getting hurt.
No, I would argue that
I guess
baseball,
they could cramp up or something if they're like running to first base and like.
I would argue that baseball is the hardest sport out of like the big 3, if you will.
Maybe the hardest,
the most games,
not the most athletic.
Games play. You talk about cramping up running to first base, hitting that ball to get a chance to run to first base. I mean, these guys are operating within milliseconds, fractions of milliseconds on these decisions on this stuff. I think that maybe not necessarily at the college level, but at the pro level, baseball's got to be the hardest.
See the ball at that point, they're just guessing.
Well, some people are really good at guessing.
It's rock.
Other people not so good at guessing.
I mean, I'm sure there's like tells and things like that where you can like kind of figure what they're gonna do or like what the pitcher mostly does or things like that. But like that ball's coming so fast, they can't like in their head be like, this is a curveball and like switch what they were gonna do at the beginning of the play.
They're just swinging.
They're swinging or not. Like they've decided.
There's tells, there's reads on the way the pitcher's body is moving, but they're still processing that. They know that that wind up or whatever is going to be a fast versus a change up versus a slider, all this kind of stuff. They're processing stuff pretty quickly to make that decision on what they're going to do. Whether they're going to swing or not. So
Right.
I don't know how to talk about it intelligently. I don't know.
Either way, I wouldn't call that like and that's why I said athletic. There's a lot of standing around and maybe like a sprint here and there to like one side of the field or the other side of the field or to a base or whatever. But like, it's just like I know somebody's screaming at the podcast right now. Somebody is going to be listening to this and
these guys
screaming.
Have you never seen these guys running down out in center field or left field, these home run balls and just jumping up, leaping, climbing the ivy wall and grabbing the ball out of nowhere? That's pretty athletic.
Outfield's a tough job. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
That happens like 1 out of every 30 games.
No, way off. Way more often than that.
Nah,
maybe not at.
Maybe not climbing the wall, but
1 every 20 games.
Running for the ball and trying to catch it, definitely.
You see it all the time, those diving catches and all kinds of it's a fun sport too. I like watching baseball, but it's just the time in between. I think that's what people lose on it is like how much time between plays makes you feel like
they got all that, right?
Pitch clock.
Screw the pitch clock. Screw the pitch clock.
You don't
like
the pitch
clock? No. Their solution for speeding up baseball was to get rid of more baseball
and add more ads.
Wait. How does it get rid of baseball to have a pitch clock?
Speeds
because it's time for the batter to make their moves, the pitcher to make their moves. Like it's basically
just their
pitching and hitting.
Yeah, they're talking to their catchers, they're talking to their other people, they're doing their signs, they're if this and that's and everything like that. It's more of the strategy of the game. You took a lot of the strategy out of, I shouldn't say the strategy necessarily, but the communication out of the game.
I don't buy it.
The
stepping out of the batter's box to piss off the pitcher and amp them up a little bit. Calling time just to adjust your glove or the grip on the bat, like that.
Again, you're not describing athletes right now.
Actors,
soldiers. These are men going to battle. Men going to battle.
Oh boy.
Well, let's take it off the war path here. Let's go back to Georgia State.
I did. I have started when I'm in the outfield, at my seats for the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing very positive mocking. So call the outfielder for the opposing team champ a lot. Better luck next time, or you can do it, champ. Things like that are very belittling, but nobody can be mad at it.
I think I may have mentioned before, there's a great TikTok channel where the guy yells out like passive aggressive things to the outfielders like, hey, Acuna, I hear you don't call your mother on Mother's Day, you bum, and just stuff like that. And it just was absurd things like, you don't tip 20%, you bum. It just like dumb, meaningless
real
type
simple
stuff.
Things.
Yeah. Exactly. Very, very common, like you can't even open a pickle jar, you bum. Yeah, it's fun, dumb stuff like that.
Yeah, I like
the
dive and miss or something. I'll be like, next time you'll get that, champ. Next time,
go, buddy.
So encouraging.
Got this.
That is really sweet of you, Ryan, to encourage the other team.
Yeah. They're not very happy about it usually, so
probably not.
It's happened like 3 times now, so it's good. Nice, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
But yeah, lots of guys leaving the program, but that's just the nature of what happens to all sports now. I don't really care right now. Let's give it another year. I want to see when the players are looking forward to that new stadium opening up. Like, I want to play there. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to stick around and play in this new place.
Hopefully, I'd rather go to school for free.
That helps, especially if you know you're not going to have a career.
Yeah, free school sounds nice.
Yeah.
So the big firms, they like really pay for full ride school. And
no, that's what I'm saying. From what I understand, is they don't. So but they are getting NIL money, and the NIL money they're able to use to pay their tuition.
I really want to know how much money floats out there for all athletes at Georgia. Like, what is the payout per athlete average?
I couldn't talk to you, but I also wonder the same thing, and I imagine it seems like the going figure is $10,000 a month.
Jesus.
All right, here we go.
That's pretty good.
You graduated too soon.
Grant says we pick up J.D. Smith, a pitcher from Georgia Tech. We also picked up Will Rich, a guy from JUCO baseball. Yeah, the hardball fan guy on Pan Talk was talking about that. Basically, the transfer portal has become the new JUCO of recruiting, because you know that they can play at a certain, especially like at the bigger programs, you know they can play at that level, specifically the Sun Belt, playing at a high level, and that their academics won't be an issue, unless you're pulling somebody from like Lafayette or some crap.
Well, and that was the benefit of pulling your JUCO player, was they could play instantly, but now they can play instantly anyway. So
Anybody can.
Yeah. Which is again, I think it's good. And what a waste of time that somebody has to go go to JUCO for a year before they can come back so they can play right away or whatever. Like it's all that was very convoluted. So now they've streamlined it a little bit, which is nice.
Yeah, I guess
I was saying, just pay the players and make school optional and call it a day. Mail it in. We're done.
Okay, where's that money coming from for Georgia State, buddy?
Detach it from the school. Huh.
You shut down a lot of G5.
How's our baseball program going to be funded if it's not part of the school? I mean, like,
what would we make this podcast about?
Georgia State football.
Georgia State football only.
No, if there wasn't, if we just said it, G5's done, right? We're all just done. There's no more football.
Well, then we talk about how good things are going in Atlanta or how bad things are going in Atlanta, right?
Smoked meats and Marvel.
Smoked meats, Marvel.
That would be a good theme.
Yeah.
Since we're talking baseball, did anyone? No, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Grant chimed in again. According to JD, 4 to 5 UGA baseball transfers may be coming to play at Georgia State as well.
That's just wild to me. Like all these moves by these players, especially in baseball, where like why? Like I feel like a lot of the baseball players are in college to go to college. Honestly, obviously not all of them. The best are going to the MLBs, but I feel like a baseball player that I roomed with in college, like he knew he wasn't going pro, right?
Right.
And he was there to get an education and also play baseball at the same time because he liked playing baseball. Although he did hate waking up at like 5:30 in the morning every day. And I didn't like it either because he would make noise.
Because he waking you up as well.
Yeah. But he was cool.
What's a big difference in baseball than football? Because you talk to any single football. There's not been a single football player I've ever talked to, college football player, that is not expecting themselves to go play in the NFL. They all think they're going to play in the NFL.
Yeah, news to them. There's not that many slots.
Yeah, there's not that many people that go up there. So,
no, I was gonna ask you guys: did you guys catch any of the College World Series games? Because I caught a little bit of one of them.
Before this weekend, I was watching all of the college tournament and everything. If it was on, I would just put it on as background TV. But I saw Florida State like put up 24 against UConn or something like that.
Yeah, that was crazy. Florida State should have made it through. Like I watched them fall apart and get one bad call, and that just lost them the series against Tennessee and let the Tennessee Volunteers move forward. Like, I don't know. It's crazy because you'd think they'd have the best umpires possible for the College World Series, but no.
What was it? Was it all SEC, all ACC,
all SEC
College World Series?
Yeah, well,
ACC, right?
Well,
championship is all SEC.
Yeah,
to be fair,
all SEC Big Ten is what it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even a bad ref might be the best they could possibly get. So, I'm just saying.
Is Angel Hernandez? Is Angel Hernandez reffing the College World Series? Is that what's going on? So no. To Tennessee's point, man, as crappy as Neyland Stadium is, their Tennessee's baseball stadium was fantastic.
They probably actually invest in it. Like Neyland Stadium, those big old stadiums. Like I understand, any like NFL team would have just rebuilt it at this point. But they have like this whole tradition thing and all that other stuff that like gets rolled into college football, and so like you just get this old crappy stadium that no one can get rid of.
Yeah, basically, the baseball stadium was built after the Civil War, and Neyland was built before it. So that's what you're stuck with, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even Bobby Dodd, they like built another stadium on top of it, so they could be like, it's the same stadium.
Bobby Dodd's like a kit car. Remember those kit car things back when we were in high school? When I was in high school, people would like buy these dumb kits to put on top of their Honda Civic to make it look like a Ferrari or whatever. It's like Bobby Dodd's it's a kit car stadium. You just put stuff on top of it to make it look cooler, but it's still just a crappy stadium in downtown or midtown Atlanta.
I mean,
There's no crappy stadium in downtown Atlanta. Just in Midtown, they have the crappy ones.
Yeah, downtown will be super nice. But so the game was like 11-8 going into the bottom of the ninth, which a la Georgia State feelings were coming on, especially when they had 2 on and then like 1 out, and it just they fell apart. And then there was a bad call. They called it a check swing instead of strikeout. And the very next thing, I'm like, I bet you he hits a home. Up there it goes.
Yep. So were you rooting for Florida State, man? He's like you're a little sad on this Florida State game.
I just felt like they played the better game, but had one bad thing happen, and it just destroyed them, which is kind of like the football season.
Were there any Sunbelt people playing?
None of the Sunbelt made it past the regionals, I don't think, right?
Yeah, there was a couple of wins, but then losses in the loser bracket or whatever it was, right?
I know Southern Miss was making a lot of noise about Applebee's and
appetizers past 10.
They're gonna beat Tennessee, but that didn't happen at all. So,
and we didn't even go, right?
Oh God, no.
We look so good during the season, and then we just tank halfway through.
I feel like we're always like pretty happy with our team, but they don't win. No, they just don't win enough games. Like we're like, man, the players seem like they're good enough, but they like
we got in.
There's just like large stretches of like losses anyway.
Well, we only have like 1 or 2 that are like pitchers that are really good.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so with pitching rotations, you only get them once a week, and so you're good for a game or 2 a week that you can win. You will get some, especially early in the season. It feels like since we've been doing the podcast and I've been paying more attention to Georgia State baseball, I feel like we put together some early season wins or some upsets, especially in those like little. It's not even a series, those 1 game,
the 2
series,
1 or 2
whatever
series.
it is.
Yeah,
we'll put up a good win against like a ranked Clemson or Vandy or some crap like that, and then just screw the pooch the rest of the conference. But Sunbelt is a good baseball conference, like a really good baseball conference.
Yeah. There were some crazy posts. There was some crazy posts by like Sunbelt people and whatever about we could get if everything falls apart, we could get some of the ACC teams to join somehow in baseball only. Which I don't know. I read that, I'm like, huh?
Yeah, there were some weird posts about if the
Florida State, Clemson, maybe.
Yeah, going to the Big Ten and then playing baseball here, but. So when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that Big Ten didn't sponsor baseball." But I guess up north, it's cold for a lot longer. Maybe they just doesn't make sense. No, Big Ten totally sponsors baseball. I don't know what was being said. Yeah, you're not gonna be all in on your conference and your baseball 6 around in the Southeast.
Like, the Big Ten's like, "Oh, that's okay. You don't have to join all sports. You can just join the ones you want." Hell no.
Well, baseball is often the 3rd sport that's in the black. And no other sport at any other school is making money.
Well, there are some
football,
schools,
basketball, and sometimes baseball.
Well, there's like women's basketball at UConn and Tennessee back in the Pat days. Those would have been,
but real one-offs.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but as a whole, yeah, that's why I refer to it as the big 3. Baseball is part of the big 3. Soccer to a lesser extent, but yeah.
I don't think any of those make any money though.
Hell, if it made money, SEC would sponsor soccer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The UGA probably makes money off gymnastics. I would.
Oh, they probably do, definitely.
Oh God, they have to be.
Yeah,
they're always up in the top 3 or 4, right? I mean,
it's a big deal.
Florida and LSU, I think, are some of the top ones in gymnastics.
Yeah, I remember going to gymnastics meets when I lived in Athens because that was
all the gym dogs
because you were a
thing to do. I mean, I went to school with with the coach's daughter, so like there was a little bit of a connection there, but still, it was like something people talked about too, like gymnastics, the gym dogs.
No, that's like that's one of the programs that feeds into the Olympics is the Georgia. Yeah,
gym dogs.
Screw those people. Why don't we have gymnastics?
It's expensive to run. Super
is it really?
Expensive. Oh yeah, all the equipment you have to have.
You rent out a CrossFit gym once a week for practice. You're good to go, right?
I mean, and then have tournaments there.
Yeah,
dude. If having gyms like that, there would not be 1,000 CrossFit gyms on every corner. We have like more CrossFit gyms than Waffle Houses. You think it'd be
That's
not that expensive?
absurd.
That's a shame if that's true.
If I get to gerrymander my district, then I can. I'll pick an area that has more CrossFit gyms than. Hell, Miami Circle has like more CrossFit gyms than Waffle Houses.
I guess it started converting. It had like a lot of furniture and artwork in there, didn't it?
It still does.
It still does, but it's CrossFit's impeding getting in there.
Yeah, kickboxing and CrossFit, and just I'm always dodging people when I'm driving up there to play bocce. So their stupid weighted vest running around, like making me look bad when I'm going to a bar to drink and play the.
I'm going to play
the most athletic sport, bocce.
Bocce's the best.
All right.
I'll just remember you said that next time you defend baseball.
Ooh.
I couldn't hit them with the car either. So
This
all
is
right.
what he thinks is athletic.
What else we got going on? Anything?
So apparently this is a big weekend for summer recruiting for Georgia State. They got a lot of guys coming in and recruits. A 4-star cornerback coming in.
Wow.
And not to get all deep in the weeds on that, because I know none of us know anything about that at all. But apparently this was a time period where Georgia State had been silent historically in recruiting because someone wanted to spend a lot of time at the lake house or the lake.
Of course,
And
yeah.
We had not been involved in recruiting in this period. And this is Jonte. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Jonte Gilbert.
Yeah.
4-star cornerback. And where is he from? Atlanta. Hey, look at that. An Atlanta 4-star coming to visit that would have never been here under the prior regime. So
Regime.
Ryan hates that when I use the word regime.
I just think it's a funny use of it right there. I didn't hate it. I just thought it was funny. It made me laugh, David.
There we go. My goal is to make you laugh.
Everyone fell in line, Ryan, for Coach Sean Elliott and his regime.
And his regime, yeah.
Well, no, but like, how garbage is this? You have a recruiting period going on, and a coach that would rather be at their lake house, their house. I guess it was his house is on the lake, and we had and still have an athletic director that's like, cool.
What
I got no problem with that.
I want my coach recruiting the shit out of every player possible all the time, whenever they can do it. I want the best team on the field.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear about coaches like,
I do like a nice lake house.
Yeah, exactly. In the office,
I think our current coach would probably rather be at a lake house, but knows that he's got a job, and so that's good.
When you hear about the work ethic of the Sabans, the Belichicks of the world, which are obviously the absolute elite top tier of this type of thing, you're like, oh my God, they need a break. But then you look at a guy like Sean Elliott, and you're like, that dude needs to commit to his job.
Right. He's just on one big break.
I mean, exactly. Get paid $800,000 a year to just mail it. Like, we'll talk about this in a little bit because there's a big thing that went on this week. I did come across about all over the social media about what is your team's big what if moment? Like, what if this happened? How different, whatever. Like, what if Sean Elliott actually like just dedicated himself to this job, like into this program, to this
that
city?
Could be our moment.
Because you've got to admit, well, it's undeniable. Coach Elliott, Sean, is the most successful coach in Georgia State's history.
He is,
short,
no doubt.
And he wasn't even putting in 100%. He wasn't even putting in 70%.
No, we talk about all the
70%.
We talk about all of the potential that our program has, and that potential might have just been thrusting him forward on something like who wouldn't have done that well,
right?
You know what I mean? So now we got somebody trying. Maybe we'll see some where we should be.
He was very good at scheduling to make sure we did the spring game earlier and got everything out of the way, so he could focus in on vacation to the Keys and maximizing his lake house time. I don't have a problem with it. He's really good at it.
I feel like I would need an $800,000 job salary for a lot longer than 7 years to be able to retire indefinitely, because he took this job as a tight ends coach at South Carolina, merely a stone's throw from where he lays his head at night. But that's a coach on the hot seat right there. If this team doesn't win 9 games this season,
they're not.
There's a very good shot that Beamer's out of there. And now
he's out
Elliott,
of there.
yeah.
No,
And
he's gonna be the head coach.
is he going to have? Yeah. They're going to have a guy on the hot seat and going into the season. They're going to promote the tight end, the guy that lost to Citadel. Sell that to the boosters at South Carolina. Yeah, we know this didn't go that well, but we're going to promote our tight ends coach.
They
who
love him.
was
They do
They
love
love
him.
him,
the
though. I don't know if they
interim
love
head
him for
coach
head
here.
coach, but they love him.
They lost to Citadel under his. I can't use regime. He was interim head coach, but they lost to Citadel while he was head coach. Do you think the boosters really want him to come in and replace Beamer?
No, they're
I think if they
dying
hired
for
him as a head coach, that'd be wild.
They're
would be
dying for a big name head coach.
Yeah.
If Beamer doesn't work out,
They're going to
Absolutely.
get another has-been from Florida, Georgia, Alabama.
Ooh. You can
Mark
take
Richt?
you can take what's his face that's gonna get let go after the end of this season.
Who?
Louisiana
Which school?
guy from Florida.
Oh, Napier.
Napier. Yeah, I don't know if he makes it through this season at Florida. Their fans are not super jazzed about him, and if they don't do really well this year, which it's looking like they might not, that's it. He's done. And then South Carolina might be open.
So sorry. Yeah, I'm just saying what a gamble Elliott took, because he was basically sitting here on a cash cow at Georgia State, being able to make this with the lowest of expectations. He was always just good enough. Now he goes there. Yeah, you're closer to home now, but you may not be out of a job in a year. So good luck.
He'll do all right.
coach.
He's got a lot of connections, and he's probably going to be good at a position coach anywhere he goes. And I bet he's got a home no matter what happens to Beamer, somewhere.
Yeah, well, we know that home is on the lake in Columbia. The question is where he's going to be actually working Monday through Friday at 4 p.m.
He'll end up at Citadel.
Zaxby's.
I've already got one win under my record for Citadel.
That's right. It's not for the wrong team, but
All right, we focused too much on Elliott or Sean or whatever you call him.
Fine. That's fine. I think that I don't know if this is exactly not, but we have a date for homecoming. I think. Which games?
What's her name?
Hey, no.
Ooh,
This makes the most sense. If you look at our stupid ass schedule, where we have we don't leave Atlanta for the first 7-8 weeks of the season.
Homecoming's away,
yeah.
right?
Right. That would be the most Georgia State thing ever, to have a homecoming game away. Make the Georgia Tech game the homecoming game. No one has to leave. No, the Arkansas State game after the 4-game road trip, November 16th. That's Saturday before 16th. The Saturday before Thanksgiving. Yeah.
So, that's pretty late, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you have 7 weeks. Is it 7 weeks at home or in Atlanta, then 4 weeks away. Yeah, that's kind of late. But that's the way the Sun Belt schedule is.
Homecoming if you never left, right? So maybe the second game of the season will be homecoming.
No, it's November. I think it's. I think it's set. It's November 16th. That's
November 16th.
Oh, you kept saying think, so I thought you were just guessing.
I think it is. That's what I've been told. That's what I've heard. That's what
okay. Yeah. So
they haven't
set
set it yet. They haven't set when it's going to be.
Not been announced yet, but the rumor mill is a swirling, and it just makes sense that it would be that game.
I mean, the only thing homecoming really means is that the band doesn't get to play at halftime, which sucks.
This is a court and nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess students show up for half of it typically, but it's just it's not very exciting to me because I never left either. There's not a homecoming for me, I'm always here.
Right, but you also it's a time to get alums out there. Like the one game that some alums come to. And Arkansas State, we should beat them, right? That's you got to.
That's a winnable game. Yeah,
that's a marker W on your scorecard starting the season, right? They are. What is that? I looked at this actually, but the ESPN's football power index, or whatever it's called. FPI. We're definitely projected to do better than them. We're actually top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're in the top half of the conference.
What does FPI know about our cobbled together team that other people don't know? Like Vegas.
I don't know. So what was it? Well, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Vegas set our
4.5, 5.5?
4.5 was our over under, right? The FBI has us at 6.3 wins. So
I'll take the over.
I take the over at 4.5. Absolutely.
On 6.3 or whatever. I'll take the over. I think we'll have a winning season.
Who's gonna win, JMU or App State? I mean, it's one of the two, right?
They have JMU as first place over Appy at 8.5 wins.
Wow.
But yeah. And then just because we have to pay attention to it, we're talking about it.
Who?
So we are ranked on their list as 89th overall. Arkansas State, who we're talking about, is 97th. So they're predicting us to be better than. And the Trash Down South is at 96. So
ooh, they don't like that at all.
Yeah. It sucks.
It's a crapshoot that far off.
Of course it is.
On rankings
and that far down. And
who's last? It's got to be.
Oh, come on! All right. You've got to know who's last.
UMass.
No.
I don't know. I don't know about overall.
ULM's got to be last, but Dominion's probably close to it because they're bad too.
All right, what do you say? So
I'm gonna go with ULM.
Tim's going Old Dominion 13 and Monroe 14. Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think ULM's probably last place.
Although, like,
that makes sense.
I think last year wasn't Old Dominion last and ULM second to last, so and Old Dominion overperformed by far.
Yeah, and I think ODU though gets more respect in general.
Yeah.
Well, you go with your gut, Ryan. Tim, you were correct. Old Dominion 13 and Monroe is 14. Is what the FPI has it as.
I wanted to say like last year Old Dominion was last.
It could have been. Well, Monroe had a decent start, I think, last year.
They did. But they had some weird wins last year, and somehow they were on the NFL Network, weren't they? One game. I feel like they got an NFL Network.
That's a weird place to play college football.
Well, they've been playing a few games on ESPN's been selling games out, which what I read was that the schools don't get anything when ESPN moves a game to NFL Network. It's just ESPN moving their inventory around and profiting themselves.
Yeah, I mean they've got a contract. They paid the school for the rights, and they then gave those rights away.
Right. Yep. Although I am looking at this football power index on ESPN, and it says last updated August 24th, 2024. So this is the week before the season starts this year that this was updated. So we are looking into the future.
Time travelers. Cool. We should trust that. They probably know what's going to happen.
It's ESPN. They can pretty much control that. It's ESPN and the mouse, right? They know everything that's going to happen. If we say it's scripted, we know where we are. Let's see. There was that fundraiser Friday at in Alpharetta somewhere. You wanted to talk about that, Tim, right?
I knew it happened, and I saw a poster's winnings with a Georgia helmet, which I was like, that's interesting.
A signed Georgia helmet, and I think was it Falcons helmet? It was a Falcons.
So it's like the retro Falcons helmet, I thought.
Yeah, which is the best one. Let's be fair.
Oh yeah,
it's a fundraiser, and I don't care how you raise your money, except it feels really weird for a college sports fundraiser to be selling things from a different college sport program, especially one within the state.
Yeah,
it was weird.
You could put up some of our own merch or a helmet signed by, I don't know, Sean Elliott or like one of our quarterbacks, and people would still bid on that. They want it. I guarantee you get bids on that.
Was it Kirby Smart? Was it Kirby Smart that had signed the helmet? Is that who it was?
I don't know.
That's what I thought it was. I could be wrong. It's just weird. Like I know the goal is it's a fundraiser. The goal is to raise money.
Yep.
But there should be some kind of level of
a little weird
attack.
Maybe Kirby Smart should have signed a Georgia State helmet.
Ooh,
that hurt to hear.
No, it could bring us wins.
No.
Yeah, that guy's a winner.
He is a winner.
He wins a lot.
Unless you're playing Alabama.
kind of sure. So
The
yeah,
Falcons would have,
was
the
it
Falcons
good?
would, I've got no problem with it being the local pro team. I have no problem with the Falcons helmet or ball, whatever it was that was signed there. That's
Yeah,
fine.
but
That makes sense to me.
Theoretically, while they're not a rival, we do compete for fans. We work. They are a competition, in-state competition. So we should not be using them to promote anything.
Does that mean that you have a problem when you see a Falcons player wearing a Braves hat?
No.
Okay, because it's the same thing. They're competing for viewership, competing for fan dollars, so to speak.
Are you okay with the Georgia helmet now?
No,
Or are you just like arguing with me?
Or both?
well, I do like arguing with you.
I know.
But I disagree with the Georgia helmet being there. I have no problem with the Falcons helmet being there.
Yeah. And that's why I think the reasoning in that though is that we're all FBS football, and they're technically competition.
I am okay with it because it made money.
Did it?
Well, did it? I thought the person who
made
showed
money.
it to us, like,
I
was-
didn't read it.
I don't know how they got it.
Silent auction, I think.
The silent auction. I do want to say I
is
like the fact that we're doing these events.
Yeah.
Have we done a silent auction under Elliott? Maybe.
Under
I'm sure
Elliott?
we did at least once. One time. You got something?
I got this hanging chair thing.
Oh, that's cool.
What?
Let's
How does
see.
that work? Do you torture yourself to get in it?
It used to hang in my carport of my old house.
You got
I
that at
had
an
this.
auction?
It was a silent auction at like a spring. What was it? The college football kickoff. The college football kickoff. I think the first year they had it at the park. I got that.
I mean, I think we should do more events like this and get signed gear, polos signed by people, or just polos, and auction all that off. You would get Georgia State fans going in there and trying to bid for some of that stuff for sure.
I bet AD McGee
I'd bid for it.
Just had it laying around.
He's like, I don't want this crap anymore.
He was like, whatever, I can get another one.
I'll just drive back up and say hi to Kirby.
Yeah, like
we got one of our buddies at the huddle here. From the Mizzou podcast, Woods Water Mizzou. Can y'all please steal some recruits? Yes, gladly.
Sure,
we're trying.
We're actively doing it.
If you throw some of your NIL dollars our way so we can recruit away from Georgia, we will gladly do that.
That would be
hilarious. And AD McGee has had some of his recruits from Georgia coming to visit Georgia State. So we're trying. We're working on it. Okay.
How wild it would be if you had other schools giving money to schools like us to pull players away from rival schools in their conference.
Our running back room is stacked, but we will pay your players to take away from our opponents. I love this idea.
We're in good shape. We just have a bunch of extra cash.
And honestly, Missouri is like the perfect school to do that because like they're trying so hard in the SEC and like just not getting any respect or notice at all. So like, all right, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna have to start like beating them from within. We'll start paying their players to go elsewhere.
It's an 8D chess.
I love it.
You have to be a real good school to do it, though. Oof.
Yeah, SEC schools are rich.
Yeah,
they got the means.
Yeah, and it's only getting richer and richer.
Yeah.
So, so I kind of talked about this earlier. There was like this big thing on social media this week for this "what if" deal, and what if this happened in your program's history? Like, how would it have changed your program? I went through. Well, they said about Georgia State, just to kind of grab some of the bigger ones. What if Dan Ellington had not got injured in 2019 and was healthy throughout?
That would have been a really good season.
I mean, we lost.
We'd have won the Sun Belt
easily playing for the conference championship easily.
That's a good what
That's
if.
When it stings. That one stings.
I think when I went to the Wisconsin game, I think that was super winnable. That was.
Yeah. What if we beat Wisconsin? That's also was on the list of one of the ones I thought was one of the better ones.
I saw one of the Facebook posts was the Auburn catch no catch thing. On that one, I mean, Whether or not he caught it or not, I don't know if we still would have won if they call it incomplete. They still had plenty of time to.
I don't think that our program changes that much had we beat Auburn. Like, obviously, we'd be thumping our chest like it's like, Donkey Kong or something like that.
I was ready to go crazy if we had won that game. Like,
and we may have gotten some more recruits out of it, for sure. It's just so much more recent. I don't know how things would have changed that much. I don't think it keeps Sean Elliott here. I think he still goes to South Carolina.
What if Bo Schlechter kicks the ball instead of Drew Little?
That's a good one. Did not see that one.
The guy that should be doing the thing.
Yeah. Jacksonville State's humiliated, and they never moved to FBS, and Conference USA folds. They don't have enough teams.
We did have another shout out from Woods Water and Mizzou. If you want to throw that.
Here we go. There we go. I love the way you're thinking. Also, thanks for Marcus Carroll. Yes, I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah. Y'all are welcome. Y'all.
Can we borrow him back when we need him?
Yeah. I think there's some trade money that had to go along with that transfer portal thing. We're owed something from Marcus Carroll. He's
royalties.
Yeah, we love that guy. You guys are gonna have a lot of fun with him this season. He's electric to watch. He's a lot of fun, and
we miss him dearly
already. We got Freddie Brock. We got Venom. We're good to go.
We'll do it. We'll be all right.
Going old school. This is one from our buddy John Weaver. What if Star Jackson caught that bus?
Oof. The whole program could be totally different.
It might be disbanded. Who knows?
Maybe so.
I mean, did he go anywhere after he got?
I think he did, and then just like piddled out immediately. Like it went, like it went to like East Tennessee or something. I don't know. I'm making that.
What up, if we don't use all our timeouts against Appy?
Oh, the ice ball. We were losing that game anyways.
I know. Not much changes. We're just less embarrassed about the outcome.
An interesting one was, what if we started football earlier?
We'd be not in this conference.
Well, this one actually got a lot of conversation going on because, Georgia State was not that traditional college girl, still not really that traditional college campus. How early are we talking? There was no, juice around athletics program.
I even think
40, 60 years ago. How long ago did somebody made a comment? What if we started football with the addition of the dorms in '96? Like maybe that's the point where we start football, and got serious about athletics.
If we started in like 2000 or just whatever decade earlier, I think we would be in the American at a minimum right now. I think so.
Yeah,
and we'd be in a much better spot to handle what's going on right now in college athletics, but.
Well, and we wouldn't have been competing with like 4 or 5 upstarts at the same time, which is probably would have been beneficial because we entered the fray when it was kind of hot to do so, because it was like San Antonio, South Alabama, Old Dominion, Charlotte. Yeah, like there's just a bunch of new people came in.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to see who played and like who started football around 2000 to see how much space we get as being the new kid on the block, basically starting football.
Well, it's funny you say that because one of the things that Panama said on Panther Talk was apparently, I guess, Lefty was talked to and said that talking about Georgia State needs football for the Big East. And what if we took that seriously back in 99, 2000?
Wow.
So then we're like, that realignment in 2005 happens. Maybe we're in the Big East today. We're in the Big 12, or who knows what would have happened through all of that. That's one of the ones I thought was like, ugh. All right.
Well, that gets us to the AAC probably then, right? Because we would have been one of the probably more football centric.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
So yeah, we probably wouldn't have split off into the Big East, basketball only people.
Right. So
that gets us to the AAC.
Which has been the
sounds like a lot of roads lead to the AAC, and we're not on any of them for some reason.
We're like looking at it from afar, just admiring that road. And
We're like,
seeing what it
man, there's a
looks
lot
like.
of roads over there.
Georgia State will always be the outside looking in. It feels like, you know.
Yeah.
We should walk down that. No, let's just stay over here. It feels better.
Too much work to actually go
I
into
feel
it.
safe right here. Let's just do this.
Oh, safe spaces. All right. Last topic. We can go to last call. There was a report out about how much beer costs at the different stadiums across all of college football, and we're not listed on it. I think we just kind of
I don't even remember.
we follow. I guess we fall in the middle. They have an NCAA average of $8.34, and that sounds like what I pay for that really weird named beer that we get at
the
park.
Narragansett's dirt cheap. That was the trap.
That was the one to get you to start.
It was like $3 or $4 or something stupid.
Yeah.
Like
the lowest priced beer on this list, according to College Football Report at Oddspedia, was TCU and Tulane at $3 for a beer.
$3, that's a steal.
Yeah.
Why are we not selling that? I think I even made this as a comment like 2 or 3 years ago.
The way to get attendance for that.
The way to get Georgia State attendance up is we need to go the cheap alcohol prices and become that rowdy stadium, just like the drunk beer snakes. Everyone's just like, it's the place to go on a Saturday.
10-cent beer night. Let's do it.
10-cent beer night. Yeah.
Let's do it.
We can do dollar beer. Bring back the old sports arena pricing.
with like a little 4-ounce cup. Everybody like walking around like
We're all doing shots.
You chug like 4 or 5 of them before you even leave the bar stand.
Shots of PBR. Oof.
We should do cheap beer. We should do like dirt cheap beer to get
like $5 would be a perfect price, I think. Unless you want to go lower.
For a 32 ouncer, I agree.
Well, so that's the thing is like dirt cheap at a stadium is gonna be like your $3, right? I mean that is crazy, but that's like crazy. It's still gonna be like Natty Light or something like you know. The margins on that are probably still amazing.
I know,
right? But I figure like in Tulane, $3 is probably like 1% of the GDP of the entire like city of New Orleans. So that's probably still pretty expensive for them.
Throwing the love to New Orleans there.
Yeah. But no, we the beer price. I think the best way to get attendance anywhere is like cheap beer prices and just up the security big time because I'm going to need it.
I'm hoping we get new beer options this year. Night and Ponce is great, but I don't know. It gets old.
For $8.50 for a 12-ounce can.
Yeah. I just want some variety. I don't care what brewery it is. Throw some Monday Night in there. Throw some Creature Comforts. Something.
I usually get a fill of Yingling. So
as long as there's no sour beer. Just keep the sour beer as far away from the stadium as possible, and we'll be good to go.
Didn't we have one year?
It's fine to have it. Just don't buy it.
Yeah, I don't like what other people care about. I don't want it to be anywhere near me. That's the new world we live in. I don't like it, so it can't be around me.
The sour beer can can't touch his Miller Lite beer can.
But we can have Sour Patch Kids. I like Sour Patch Kids. It should come with just give me a good beer with a pack of Sour Patch Kids. I'll pay a premium for that. So.
Solid.
Or Sour Patch boozy candy. All right. We'll do that. Take that way to the think tank.
Okay.
So all right.
Save that.
That sounds like a segue in the last call.
It's like a segue into something for Ryan. All right. Hey, Tim, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We're going to head over to last call, finally start cursing a little bit. Maybe go pee, maybe get some beer, maybe get a cocktail, maybe all of them. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe. Patreon.com/State of Atlanta. If you didn't like it, too bad. Patreon.com/State of Atlanta as well. You get live streaming access. You'll get discounts on merch. You'll get free booze at tailgates. You'll get discounts on our merch. Our merch store is awesome. Check it out. $5, I think, is still the going rate, unless David's fixed it, to sign up and be a fan of the show. We'd really appreciate it. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.